Hey, welcome into this live video. As you see, and what I want to talk about today is the fact if you're watching this, maybe you're somebody that's trapped in a 9 to 5 job. You're sick and tired of your boss or your manager telling you what to do all the time. And you've just been told that you can't have holiday, you can't have a pay rise. And you finally reached the point in time where you've got so much anxiety sitting on your chest because you're working in this job every single day, and you want to get yourself into a position where you can leave that and you can start something for your own. Now, the beauty is that you can run this on the background whilst you still work in a job. So you don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to make any crazy decisions, but you can build a business up on the side. And look, I just want to share with you my answers to 5 questions that I get asked all the time. And not only do I get asked them, but I also know that's what people are thinking, because it's the same questions that I had when I started my own business, and what enabled me to be able to leave that job and to be able to have money from my own thing, from my own business, and to ultimately create freedom for myself. And I want to give you some of those answers today in this chat, so you've got them, so you can learn from my experience as well, from what I've seen works and what doesn't work, and the mistakes I made as well. Now, the first question is this: how do I figure out what business idea is right for me? So perhaps you're somebody that doesn't have a clue. You've got an idea, you want to start a business, but you've got no clue as to what business that you're going to start. Or maybe you're somebody, you've got about 6 to 10 different ideas, but you don't know which one to go with. Let me help you with that. Very, very simply. Many people have a great idea, but then when it actually transpires and it goes to the marketplace, it doesn't do very well. Why? Because it doesn't solve a problem. So number one, the only reason that anybody is going to hand over their hard-earned money to you that they've been working for, that they've been saving up for, the only reason they're going to hand it over to you is if you solve a problem for them, if you help them. So you got to think, how can you solve people's problems using what you already know? So what I want you to think about is there is a point between your expertise, the knowledge you have, the skills, the abilities that you have, what you have from hobbies, interests, your work currently, all those strengths that you have and those skill sets, combined with your experiences in life and what you've been through, the victories, the defeats, the good times, the bad times. These all make up your experiences, and combine that with people's frustrations and people's problems, right? So think about that. What are those 3 things? So your strengths, what are people's problems, but also what is it that as well excites you? Like, it's got to excite you. But what are your experiences? What are your expertise? And in there, there'll be a sweet spot. Now, if your business doesn't excite you, then it's going to be hard to get inspired by it. And I believe everybody has a purpose. I believe every single person watching this, you are watching this, you have a purpose, you have something of value to bring to this world, to share with other people, and to obviously make money from that as well. But you've got to solve a problem. And everybody's purpose can be monetized, you can profit from it, but obviously you help a lot of people, you serve a lot of people. That's when you see people having huge amounts of success, is because they're loving what they do, they're living on purpose and on mission, but they figured out how to monetize that and help solve people's problems. So think, what is it that's going to excite you most? What do you see yourself doing for the rest of your life? Like, imagine you got to the end of your life. What do you want to be known for? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind for other people? How do you want to give back? And so out of the ideas that you've got, that's where the best is going to be. If it's aligned with who you are, your mission on this planet, your duty, because people will feel that as well. They'll pick up on that. When you're living on mission, when you're living on purpose, they'll see that energy with you. So that's how you decide what the right business idea is going to be for you. The second question is, do I need a lot of money to start a business? No, you don't. And the reason why I say this, so I always teach people how to use what they already know to start their first business. The only people that require the most money are people who are perhaps they're setting up restaurants, for example, or they are setting up like a product, like a physical product. So what happens in those two cases, like you probably have to get some investment in, or you have to get investment in to manufacture the product as well. But what I focus on helping people is there are skills that you have, information that you already have, and what you already know that you can turn into a business. For example, I worked with somebody, she was a wizard with Excel. She just knew she knew how to use all the formula, she knew all the details of it, and she was a wizard with it. It blew my mind what she could do with it. And trust me, we're all using it to a substandard basic level. But she was very advanced with that. And she took that skill and implemented it into other people's businesses. So typically business owners, they weren't reporting properly what they were doing. They had spreadsheets here, there, everywhere. It was chaotic, disorganized. And she would go into their businesses, she'd sort out the spreadsheets, she would simplify it, but she would make it in a way that gave them really accurate reporting on the numbers, statistics, profitability, revenue, expenses, all those things. And think, if a business owner isn't reporting those stats accurately, that becomes a big problem further down the line for that business. And so that's how she would help people. So she took what she knew and she turned it into a way to solve people's problems. She really didn't need that much money to get the business set up. I'd probably say to get a business started using what you already know, I don't know, maybe 100 to, depending how far you want to take it, to 300 pounds. When I registered my business, it cost me 30 pounds. And I did that on the government website. And I found out later date that wasn't probably the best way to do it. I used a company called, you can use a website called Companies Made Simple, especially in the UK as well. Companies Made Simple, and it will maybe like 150 quid, and it will get everything registered for you, account set up, sorted. So you really do not need that much money to start. There is so much software out there which has free plans on it. Social media for finding clients, it's free. There are networking events that are free. There is so much out there for free that you can utilize in the beginning to help you make progress. What I want you to remember is about going out there and talking to people, having conversations. If you're not talking to somebody, if you're not having those conversations, like, how can anybody buy from you? How can they find out what you're doing? And this is where I see people struggle when they start a business. They're not having those conversations. And you can do that for free. You've got contacts in your phone. You've got contacts on your social media. There are people everywhere that you can speak to. You do not need to spend a fortune in the beginning on paid advertising. That is a waste of money. Why? Because you don't know how to do it, and you're just going to burn through cash that you probably don't want to be burning through, because you want to be able to leave your job one day. And I don't want you to waste cash. I don't want you to waste money. I want you to use it as a tool. And so as you get good at marketing your business, talking about what you have to offer, building relationships and getting clients, as you start mastering that and you build that up, then you can start testing paid ads. But you don't need to do that at the beginning. So that's why you really do not need a lot of money to start a business. But it's like, if you want to spend on things, people will go out at the weekend, they'll blast through £100 on alcohol. I know for a lot of people are taking drugs at the weekend. Like, it's ridiculous. And they talk about wanting to quit a job, but they're so incongruent with it. And they're going out, getting pissed up every weekend, not moving forward in life. And they're willing to spend £100, £150 on nights out, but they're not willing to spend £150 to get a business started and move forward. And they're just wasting time. And I don't want that for you. But you really do not need to spend a lot of money to get started in business. That's the beauty of it. It's accessible now, thanks to social media, thanks to software and technology. It's so accessible now for so many people, which is awesome. And that's the way that we want it. So next question, how do I find time to start a business when you work full time? I get it. So it's not only about doing a 9 to 5 or doing shift work. It's the time that it takes you to get ready. It's the time it takes you to commute. It's the time that you end up staying late because you've got to catch up on work. You then, on top of that, you come home and you're exhausted. You're devoid of energy anyway. So then you got to try and inspire yourself to get into action and work on a business. How the hell do you do that? This is why when you start in business, you've got to keep things so simple for yourself. I see people that are trying to start 10 different business ideas in the hope that if the more businesses they start, the more likely they are to be successful, and quicker as well. And it does not work like that. If you're starting multiple businesses at once, you're ultimately just going to slow yourself down, and you're going to have a really hard time at making forward progress. So how do you find the time? Well, could you just get up half an hour earlier? Yes. Could you just, at the end of the day, could you just do half an hour on your business? Instead of going out on a Saturday night or a Sunday, or who goes out on a Sunday actually? Instead of going out on a Saturday night, could you use that time to work on your business and getting that launched? And that's what I do. I'd come home from work, I'd rest for a bit. I need to just chill out, office politics, negativity, stress, and just needed to unwind. Took a bit of time, and then I get started on business. Now, I was in a great situation. I didn't have kids at that time. I didn't have kids. I wasn't in a relationship, and I know maybe you are. Maybe you've got kids, or maybe you are in a relationship. It's important that you spend time with them and you be present with those people around you that you love. But carve out some time, and maybe you've just got to have an honest conversation with them and just say, look, I want to create this better life for us. I'm serious about the idea of starting and growing a business so we can take care of ourselves financially. I'm just going to dedicate half an hour a day extra in my own time and just to work on the business, and just have that open conversation with them so they can understand what your intention is. Really, if you're serious about this, you'll find the time, because we find the time to watch Netflix. We find the time to scroll through YouTube. So if you are serious about starting a business, you will find the time. We find time for what we value most. So if you do value creating a life for yourself where you can work on the days of the week that you want to, and you want to work the hours with the clients that you want to work with and get paid the amount of money that you want to be, then if you value that, then make the time commitment to it. But you can't get frustrated at yourself for not getting started in business and growing it if you every single night you are just binge watching Netflix, binge watching TV, and then feeling miserable about your job, because nothing is going to change if you keep doing that. Nothing's going to get better. Binge watching TV all the time is not going to make life better. And there has to be a breakaway. You have to draw the line in the sand and be willing to do something about it. So that's the next thing. And the next question is, what if I fail? A lot of people are asking this, what if I fail? And it's an okay thought to have, because the stats show us that, we're bombarded with the stats that 90% of businesses by year 5 have failed. So that becomes a really worrying statistic for people who are thinking about starting a business. But remember, what that statistic doesn't tell you is how many people failed in business, but then just started another business. And I've got friends who have failed in business and then they just start again, like the next day. Right? So a business not working is not the end of the world. But also I say to people, you don't need to quit your job early to go full time into a business. That was a mistake I made. I made life very difficult for myself because I quit my job early, because I was miserable, I was frustrated, and I threw in the towel early, and I hadn't actually got the business fully operational and to a place where it was creating consistent income. So I left my job and I was in a financial hellhole, if you like, because I hadn't signed up a client when I left, and I'm living off my last paycheck, and it caused a lot of problems. And you don't need to do that for yourself. And look, think about this. If you fail, right, which is okay, people fail all the time, what is the worst that could happen? What really is the worst that could happen? Because if it's not working out, you could just go and get another job. I know for myself, if one day it doesn't work out and everything collapses, everything fails, yeah, I could just go and work in Tesco's for a bit and regroup and then start again because that's what I do. And so, do you know what? Even the worst case situation isn't even that bad. A lot of people are scared about going bankrupt. Do you know what? The percentage of people that actually end up going bankrupt is so infinitesimally small. It's ridiculous. And plus, I know people have gone bankrupt. And as I said, they just start the next day, start a new business, and they're back to making money again. So even that's not the end of the world. And I've been financially, I've been in a situation where I defaulted on all my loans, really screwed up my finances, and I ended up defaulting. I'm still here. I've still got a roof over my head. I've got a loving fiance. I've got living in a great house. I've got a car. I've got food on the table. Happy days. Do you know what? I'm still here. So even in those worst case situations, you'll make a comeback. But the reality of that happening is, I'm not going to say it's impossible. Like, it could happen, but I just want you to know that it's okay to make mistakes and it's okay to fail. And those mistakes and those failures will actually move you to where you need to be. And do you know what? The ultimate failure is just giving up on your dreams altogether and just not doing it. If you just keep going and you keep finding a new way forward, you're not really giving up, which means you're not really failing. You're just finding new ways of doing things. You're finding new ways of moving forward. So I just want you to know that mistakes, failure, it's okay. It does happen, but it's going to make you better. And you don't need to do anything drastic and crazy like leaving your job today to start a business. Just grow it on the side. And then lastly, the question is, how do I get my first paying client? Ultimately, that's what you want. Yeah, business that's not making money is a problem. It's not a business, right? It's not a business, and it's not doing you any good, and it's not doing customers any good because they're not getting served by you. So for a business to survive, it needs to make cash flow. My friend Alistair and I, we've always taught this. The people that we see making the most money are the ones who are visible. So they have huge levels of visibility. They are extremely valuable in terms of not only growing themselves as a person, but they're adding lots of value and helping people. And then lastly is they're very vocal. So you always hear from them. They're always talking about their message and what they do and how they help people. And so when you jump online or you're at a networking meeting, they're always there, right? And so when people are visible, they're valuable, they're vocal, what's happening is they're drawing people in. They're building a know, like, and trust factor with other people. So the more you do that, the more people see you and the more they hear about you and they trust you because of what you're providing, then they're more likely to do business with you. So it comes back to, there's a guy, Grant Cardone, said this. He says, interactions lead to transactions, contacts lead to contracts. So in those early days of business, the success of your business, your first business, is going to be down to how many conversations you can have, how many people that you can engage with and talk to. Yeah, there are going to be some people that aren't interested in what you have to offer. That's okay, right? Not everybody is going to say yes, right? It's nothing personal towards you. It's not a personal attack at all. It's just they're not interested in what you have to offer. So let's move on to the people who will be interested. And it's that cheesy quote is like, every no gets you further to a yes. And I've seen that true time and time again, because you get lots of no's from people, but then that moves you to the person that says yes. Okay. So your first paying client is going to come from you picking up your phone, start messaging some people. And I share this with people, some other people who are in business as well share it, is get your first 5 clients and do the work for free. Just help them, pure intention, get the best result possible. At the end, you got 2 options. Ask them for a testimonial. So then that's them reviewing the work that you do. So then with that testimonial, you can go back out to the marketplace and show, hey, look, I helped Kevin. Kevin worked with me for 8 weeks. This was the amazing transformation. This was the amazing result that he got. This is what happened for him. Or I worked with Susan and I gave her this service. We spent a week working together, and this is what happened to her life or her relationship or her business, whatever it is. and then showcase that result. Go back out to the marketplace with those testimonials. Then you can also, with those people that you're working for free, go, look, you've got a great result. Would you like to keep getting great results? And if I can't see them saying no, because if you've done a fantastic job, they'll want to stay with you. So then for the next phase of working together, you can make it a priced offer where they actually pay you to do the work. And look, maybe you do something a bit more special for them, a bit more of a discount, because that will build up your confidence with making sales and being able to process money from people. That's a big obstacle for people, but you can use that to then obviously your first sales. And then you got proof of concept. It's going to make you happier, but it's also going to make you much more fixed into your business, because you've got skin in the game, because somebody's paid you money and you're going to want to do a fantastic job for them and help them. So you're going to deliver an even better service. So that's how you can get your first clients, your first paying clients. Do some work for free. A lot of people don't want to do that because, oh, I don't want to do free work. Well, you're not really in a position to, in the beginning, you're not really in a position to do massive paid work. I'm not saying that to diminish you. It's just the reality of things. People don't know you yet. They don't trust you, and they don't like you, not because of anything wrong with you. It's just that's the way that we function as human beings. It takes time for us to build up trust with people. So if you can help solve a problem for them for free, get them the result, get them the win, and then off the back of that, then offer them a paid service, offer them the paid program or whatever you're offering. That's how you get your first clients for free. So guys, they're the 5 things we covered. So we talked about how to get the right business idea, how to start a business with, not needing a lot of money, as well, finding the time to grow that business on the side of a full-time job, talking about what if you fail as well, but also how to get those first paying clients for yourself. And as always, just let me know what's been the biggest learning for you from this stream. What's been the biggest lesson for you in this video? What's helped you the most? And as always, I'll put it in the description. But if you want to grab, I've got a free, if you're stuck and you have no idea what business to start, I've got a free 17-minute training there for you. If you've got an idea, but you just don't know what the roadmap is to start a business, then there's an 18-step roadmap there. It's all laid out, very simple, just for you to follow. You just go into the description. You can access those. You can download those. Just put in your name and email, and it just sends it to you automatically, which is fantastic. It's nice and quick for you, right? So guys, thank you so much for jumping in, watching, and I will be back with more live content very soon.